legends say that there's one video that could be, like, mostly positive about well-loved series that would inspire the maximum amount of rage. And I think that video might be this one, which is a versus video of little to no literary merit, just because I find them fun, of Wheel of Time versus Malazan versus Realm of the Elderlings. We got 3 huge, very well-known series in the fantasy genre, all over 3.5 million words, all at least 10 books, and most of those books are huge. So, for those of you who don't know, I have one earlier versus video that was like the warm-up for this, and it was the Poppy War versus the First Law trilogy. I am doing the exact same format. I really like the format. I'm not changing anything, and I'm keeping the amount of points the same. So there are a total of 25 available points, and I'm going to see which series comes out on top for this extremely arbitrary versus video. And will people of all, who are fans of all 3 series, will they get mad at me if their series doesn't win any of the categories? Who knows? We'll see. So, the format of this versus, because I created my own, because I generally don't like the format of these, is we got the categories of action, prose, theme, world building, plot, and character. And they are not all weighted equally. Action is worth 1 point. Prose, theme, and world building are worth 3 apiece. Plot is worth 5. Character is worth 10, because that's the order that I care about stuff. And you might point out that for some books, some things are of greater importance, so this isn't like a literary valid format that actually determines which series is objectively better, and you're correct! It does not do that at all, but it's more fun than just being like, here are 5 categories and each gets 1, because I just get annoyed by that. And if you don't care about the categories in that order, then you can weigh it how you like, and you'll see what result I would end up with if I weighted it the way you prefer. Anyways, and I'm not trying to be objective here, I just find these fun. We are going to our first category, which is action. And right off the bat, action, only worth 1 point, so I can't distribute them. Right off the bat, Realm of the Elderlings has, I actually think Hobb is a pretty good action writer, but it barely has action. So no, it doesn't win action. Not even close. And Malazan has some great action, some great battles, some great duels. Also some that I just didn't care about at all. It's very hit and miss for me. Like, there are some battles fights where he'll just, like, blow by blow describe the fight for 2 pages that make me want to, like, burn my eyes out. And there are some, like, super atmospheric fights where you learn things about the characters, or, like, insane epic battles. So it's very hit and miss. High highs, also some action scenes that, like, I don't skim action scenes because I've read too many authors who are really good at having great character work in their action scenes. Malazan sometimes tested my decision to not skim action scenes. Then we have the Wheel of Time, which has my favorite battles in the genre. Also some great fights, some duels that are somewhat suspicious, but the Wheel of Time easily wins the point for action. It isn't even close. It has my favorite battles. Yeah, like, it's not even close. Yeah, Wheel of Time wins action. There it is. So, the next category is prose. And the way this works, 3 points are available to prose, but not all 3 have to go how they want. So I could go 3-0-0, I could go 2-1-0, or 1-1-1. First off, we're not doing 1-1-1, because Realm of the Elderlings wins prose. You know what? Easily. I like the prose of both of these 2 series. But Realm of the Elderlings, I find it's the most elegant prose. The way she words things sticks with me the most. The emotional punches land the hardest. Now, from a technical level, I would be hard-pressed to make the case that Robert Jordan is a better writer than Steven Erikson. But the question is, because this is just a me video, it's very self-centered, so it's just what I prefer. Do I prefer Malazan prose to Wheel of Time prose? And it's very close. I really like the way Jordan writes. I actually prefer the way he sets a scene. I do think I prefer Malazan prose, though. For Erikson's ability to find the right words for emotional moments. That being said, I'm actually just going to give all 3 points to Realm of the Elder Rings. So there it is. So it doesn't matter which order I prefer these in, because Hob wins all 3. Deal with it. So the next category is theme. And this has been some nice balance to start, because I think even if it's not my preferred way of delivering theme, it would frankly be insulting to not give theme to Malazan Book of the Fallen. Like, no series I have read has covered the range of topics or been as theme driven. If this was an individual book, I think there might be like one book that I think I prefer the theming to Malazan, and there might be some, like maybe Dune, but as a series, it would just be insulting to not give Malazan a win. That being said, the question is, does Realm of the Elder Rings get a point? Sorry, Wheel of Time. I like your theming at times, not really your biggest strength. Realm of the Elder Ring themes aren't the main point of the story, but they also have stuck with me a lot. So I actually, this was pretty easy for me to decide. Malazan is getting 2 points. Realm of the Elder Rings is getting 1, and poor Wheel of Time is getting 0. Sorry, Wheel of Time, but that's how it's going to be. And in all honesty, even if I feel like it would just be insulting to do it, I'm closer to giving Realm of the Elder Rings the win than I am to giving it 0 points. It doesn't cover the range of topics, but the stuff it covers has really stuck with me. Anyways, so that's what we're doing. And the next category is going to be world building. And right off the bat, I'm going to say Realm of the Elder Rings has very good world building. Realm of the Elder Rings in a versus series against a very large majority of fantasy series, Realm of the Elder Rings would get world building. That being said, it's Malazan and Wheel of Time. Come on. So I think it's pretty clear that one of these is getting 2 points and one of these is getting 1 point. I'm sure there's lots of Wheel of Time fans and lots of Malazan fans who think that their series obviously has better world building. For me, this is very close. I've known I'm going to make this video a long time, and I've been going back and forth on which one I'm going to give world building to. So this is where I'm at. Malazan world building is more original. The history of it is more original. The backstory stuff is more original. The magic and the way fantasy works and the religious stuff is more original. It's also bigger. No series is as big as Malazan Book of the Fallen. Some fantasy series they increase linearly. Malazan increases exponentially. That being said, the history of Wheel of Time is way better fleshed out. You can almost go decade by decade and say what happens. Malazan literally has, keep in mind, this is only for the main 10. I'm only comparing Malazan Book of the Fallen, not the entire Malazan series. This might be different for the entire Malazan series, but for the main 10, there are literally 100,000 year gaps where you have no clue what happens. The history is bigger, there's more years, and yet I know way less events that happen. So the history of Wheel of Time, the way it's fleshed out, is way better. And then I also prefer the cultures of the Wheel of Time. Malazan, this is one both are very strong in this. I slightly prefer Wheel of Time cultures. And one reason I think I prefer Wheel of Time cultures is I feel that the actual protagonists and POV characters and main characters are more affected by the culture they live in than the Malazan ones are. A lot of the Malazan cultures, if you separate the characters from it, they're very well fleshed out, but I don't find that the actual point of view characters are sometimes as affected by the culture. This really stands out for Lether. Where Lether, it has this culture of being super competitive and greed is very common. But none of the Lether point of views seem to be affected by this, where they're not like this. But what wins out? I think people are going to get mad at me. This is so hard. I'm giving it to Wheel of Time. Because one other thing I didn't mention is for Wheel of Time, each individual location, I feel you spend less time in. Like, they travel a lot, even in, like, the first couple books. But I feel like I can kind of picture the culture and what the location looks like better. So, Malazan, which would beat any other series, and probably 3 Omo series, I am giving 1 point to, and I am giving 2 points to the Wheel of Time for world building. But man, that's a hard choice. So we move on to plot, and we have, right now, Realm of the Elder Links has 4 points, and Wheel of Time and Malazan are at 3 apiece. And for plotting, Malazan's going to win pretty easily. Plotting is worth 5 points. Malazan is not getting all 5. But, like, some of the books for Realm of the Elderlings are plotted well, and some have issues. Plotting is not Hobbs' biggest strength. Same thing for Wheel of Time. Now, Malazan plots, some of them I have my issues with, but also some of them, like the scheming and the intricacies, are so well done. So, I'm going to give Malazan 4 out of 5 points for plot, and then Wheel of Time is going to get the final pity point. And Realm of the Elderlings is going to be in last place. But gee, I wonder if it'll gain any ground for the final point characters. Or is Realm of the Elderlings going to shock everyone and come in last place? We shall see. So, going into the final thing, which is characters, which is worth almost half of the points. 25 total points, 10 of those points are in characters. And going into that, we got Malazan in first place with 7 points. And then we got Realm of the Elderlings and Wheel of Time tied at 4. And all 3 of these authors are great at characters. Erickson has some great subtle character development, some kind of indirect characterization, and just some fantastic characters. Jordan has insane character development and character arcs, great at voice. And then, so these two, where it's not, are somewhat close. I am going to give Wheel of Time more points than Malazan. I love Malazan for its characters. Rand is like, when I read it, was my favorite character in fantasy. And I just, like, the highs of Wheel of Time are insanely high. Also, Erickson just chooses to have, like, 400 point of views. And I'm sorry, there are some Erickson characters that are just, I'm bored by. Like, especially some of the later ones, or, like, some of the point of views in Rakuru and House of Chains, I just find pretty one-dimensional. I think it's telling that there are a lot of point of views introduced in Reaper's Gale and Dust of Dreams that I have never seen a single person pick as like a top 20 Malazan character. There are characters that I spend an entire book in their point of view, and I don't feel like I could tell you anything about their personality. Very, very high highs, but the lows, because he just chooses to focus so broadly, are really low. Wheel of Time has even higher highs for me. Like, I like Rand more than any Malazan character. It also has some low lows, but Malazan focuses even more on the lows. So for the 10 points, I'm going to give Malazan 1 and Wheel of Time 2. Which, of course, because I love both of these for characters, but Hobb is Hobb. Like, Robin Hobb is easily my favorite character writer of all time. She has the highest highs. She has my favorite character ever. She has some of my favorite individual character arcs ever. She has some characters that just have so much less page time than her other characters or Wheel of Time characters, and I still like them more than basically all of the characters for here, like the live ship characters. I think she has some of the most like characters with psychological depth. She basically has no flat characters. It's insane. So it's like her lows for like her least favorite characters are insanely high. There's like 2 Realm of the Elderling characters I'm not a fan of. She wins characters easily. She gets 7 points. I considered giving her more. So yeah, Hobb wins characters easily. So that is 7 points to Realm of the Elderlings, 2 points to Wheel of Time, and 1 point to Malazan, Book of the Fallen. All three are so strong for characters, that was always going to hurt whoever came in last. But that's what we're doing for characters. So, for those who have been keeping score, in third place, we have the Wheel of Time, which, I'm going to be honest, I think is just because it got a bad stylistic matchup. Where normally, like, if I do more versus videos and Wheel of Time is going to be in them, it's going to win a ton of points in characters. But he just happened to go up against Realm of the Elderlings. So kind of a bad stylistic matchup. So it ended up with 6 of 25 points. And then barely beating it, we had Malazan, which got most of its points from winning theme, winning plot pretty easily. That's where it got like half of its points. Which is kind of funny because normally you would think of its biggest strengths as theme and world building. But again, stylistic matchups are a bitch. And then in first place, we have winning 7 points in characters, Realm of the Elderlings, and also winning Prose, Realm of the Elderlings. This, I feel, was quite predictable. You probably all knew this was going to happen, and it is my favorite series of the 3. And it's kind of funny that it wins 0 points in world building, because normally it would probably win world building. But the competition for these was very tough. So let me know in the comments below if you think I'm totally wrong and why your favorite of these 3 series actually should have gotten like 23 of the 25 points, and it isn't even close, and why you're very upset with me. I'm sure I totally get it if you're a Malazan fan and it's like, what, it doesn't even win world building? Yeah, I totally get that. It was really close. But it do be like that sometimes. I had to give some books 0 points for things that they're good at. That's just how it was. This was fun to make, so let me know if you want more, because I could do more. I don't want to do, like, there are some versus videos that, like, you know, their series are just so different. Like, for example, I don't know. You know, if you take 2 series that are completely different, it's kind of pointless to do versus, like, you know, Malazan versus Book of the Ancestor. Like, okay, one's 10 huge books, one's a small trilogy, like, following all one character instead of, like, 400 point of views. But, I would try and only do matchups that were, like, somewhat stylistically similar. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye, everyone.